Well, we'll start over. What was I saying?
I'm a member of the Greenback Party.
Oh, my. In DeSmet, there's an annual plein air event where they invite artists to paint. And so I went there once, and I painted the interior of Laurel Ingalls Wilder's first schoolroom that she taught in. And it was one of my favorite drawings I ever did. And it's just a little school with, maybe 6 or 7 little desks, and her desk in the front and all wood on the side and a stove. And on one of the desks, I drew a picture of a little chalkboard thing in it, and I wrote on it, "The Greenback Party." and then I sold the drawing to my niece who lives on a farm in Nebraska. And so there's a permanent record to my family of my political beliefs right there if anybody really wants to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Greenback Party. It was a real thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Greenback Party. Tell me about it.
Well, in the 1880s, thereabout, it was the beginning of the progressive movement where people were beginning to get educated about how things work like that. The gold monopolies, they could control the currencies by the credit at will, and they would cause runs on the bank.
Yeah.
They would cause things to fall. So you buy things cheap. The IOUs, there's always IOUs involved. IOUs work great. If I give you an IOU and he'll take it, that's a creation of trade. Do you see how that works?
Yeah.
That the bill says legal tender for paying of debts. That's what makes money right there. Because it's created by debt.
Yeah.
And so you can use it to pay off the debt.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to comprehend, but
I think the tough part for me is that the people involved have to trust each other enough.
you don't have to trust. You can pay off a debt with it.
History of money. That was the first.
If I don't trust you, I'm not going to do that debt.
Then you're going to lose out to the guy who will.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or the guy that will is going to get scammed.
If Jeff Bezos gets all the money in the world,
He might have it.
I think everybody will still. If you don't trust that his money's good, he'll find somebody that will believe it is good.
But I don't want to go to Jeff Bezos. I'm going to go to you.
That's where money came from. Was the debt and gift? It was
the debt. Yes.
Debt and there was also the gift as well. You could gift people things. And it happens a lot in the Bible.
You can do that now. I can do that now.
But before money existed, that's
Jubilee.
Between the barter system and the use of money, we had the gift and debt system, and they talk about it a lot in the Bible. They don't.
Well, they
I don't think
Jubilee
it's
every
much different
7
than what
years.
it is now, though.
Pardon?
I don't think that's much different than what exists.
Well, it was before the.
I owe you something, or I'm giving you something.
Yeah.
I mean, how is that? That's a basic concept of it, right?
Well, you can't do what you can do with money. Like you can't hoard it. You can't. Can you? I guess you could hoard debts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some cultures, if you owe somebody, you owe them for life.
In an honest society, if I'm going to ask somebody something of somebody, I would feel personally indebted to them.
That's proof that the use of money is a totally natural thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're just replacing it with money.
Yeah.
What was it you were saying about Jubilee? Not Jubilee.
Jubilee.
The gift
it's in the
and
Bible.
debt.
Gift and debt. I mean, I don't really know how money is just not in line with that.
Yeah. Well, that was before there was actually physically coins or anything printed up as.
Well, I think that the difference, thinking about it a little bit here, is that you can arbitrarily print money, and that brings inflation.
You can arbitrarily dig gold.
You can't arbitrarily.
That's a lot more work.
Have someone indebted it to you or gift someone.
There's this element where it loses value. I mean, I don't have any more, but I'll just make more of it. But you still need the physical elements that make up money: ink, paper, the time to do that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
The same with diamonds. It's like the idea was that there was value because of obscurity. Well, now we know that the obscurity is just propaganda and isn't actual thing. Diamonds are everywhere, but
Yeah.
and now supposedly there's whole planets and moons they're finding that are made entirely out of diamond.
Well, we can make synthetic diamonds now.
And you can make synthetic
too.
diamonds.
Yeah.
They're probably on the market, and you wouldn't even know it.
They are.
You know,
They're cheaper than regular diamonds.
they probably look the same. And
They look exactly the same. They actually look better.
if you love me,
It's
you'd get me
controlled.
a real diamond.
Since it's controlled, they actually.
Did you have to?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I bought
Of
one.
course, it didn't work.
Since it's controlled, the
a
diamond
nice
actually
diamond.
looks nicer because it's grown perfect. Like they decide. How it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
right. Because you could decide what to do. you
But
know?
people prefer their blood diamonds. So
yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, right?
yeah.
It's not reasonable or rational. As an Ayn Rand, I would hope he'd be against that. Anyway.
Well, I'm still not sold on the society without money. I still think it could exist, but I think it would. I can't picture.
So you got to
it.
convince me of
It's
that.
got to be someone more intelligent than me that comes up with the system, and for it to come into play, it would be like some kind of horrible.
So then I don't
Transition.
think then I'm in disagreement with you
Why?
because you're telling me this, but you don't have the answer to it.
I just think
You're telling me there's just a better society without it, but you don't know how that works.
No, he says that it's possible for there to be societies
Sure.
without it.
I think anything's possible.
Right?
I think it's a possibility. Yes.
Anything's
Not
possible.
a modern, maybe a modern industrial society.
Well, it definitely it existed at one time in the past. Tribal.
Only tribal,
Yeah.
small.
All right, would you rather live then?
As soon as
We can't answer that because that's not an option. We never know. We don't
that
know
is
that.
also a possibility.
I mean, we don't know that because
I don't think it
we
will
haven't
happen.
lived in that world, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
That's
you.
what we know about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
we've
mean,
read about it.
we can
things
just look at history and contemplate it.
Yeah.
But to live in that way,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You would have to. The only way to know is to experience it. I mean, we
Or to
can't.
go to Alaska and convince some other people to tribal out with you up there.
I get the
Yeah.
appeal of it. I like nature.
Yeah.
But like me, like unfortunately, I wouldn't last long. And that's
Well,
right.
Could you what you need to ask is, could we have a society where you guys come over here and plug in these machines and we sit on this nice wood floor and we have the
Yeah.
lights on
That's very
without
relevant.
money? No, I don't think so. We could still have a beautiful society, perhaps even better,
Yeah.
but I don't think it'd be allowed politically.
Well, does the society
many
without
people would
money
vote for this
eliminate greed?
Pardon?
Would it eliminate greed if we had a society without money?
No.
People would still say, "I want more slices of pizza than you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's always been the case.
Yeah.
I had a tongue twister that I made up once. It doesn't really belong here on this program, but it was Gus Does Cave Chief's Wives. He's an artist, Gus, and he did some cave paintings. Perhaps you've seen them
Yeah.
on National Geographic.
Wow.
In exchange, he did Cave Chief's Wives. It's hard to say 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it
anyway.
sounds like it.
Try it. Gus Does Cave Chief's Wives. It's-
Gus does Cave's Chiefs white. Nah, I can't. Give it a shot, David.
Does.
No, he doesn't want to play that game.
I don't even. I'm getting a little.
Here's
Lightheaded.
here's a good tongue twister I made up. The wide. Let me think about it. The wide weight of right wing radio. How did it go? The wrong wide weight of right wing radio. I'll remember it sometime.
One thing
We'll save that one for the next show.
unrelated to any of this. Speaking of right wing radio, like I miss because I used to be able to because my hours allowed me to do it. It doesn't. They don't allow my job hours.
Listen to
Um,
Hannity and all those
no
crazy
late
fucks.
night. Yeah, not them. But 1320.
Oh yeah,
Late night.
Selfridge. Oh, late night. Oh, the crazy one, the UFO guy.
Yeah.
Art Bell.
Okay, there
Art,
you
well,
go.
Art Bell, but George Norrie.
Oh.
George
They're all-
Norrie is bad. By
I
the
haven't
way.
listened to it since Art Bell wasn't on there.
Yeah, George Norrie. I mean, I like to. He has some interesting guests, but George Norrie himself was no fucking Art Bell. And but I mean, as far as radio, it was nice to have just like an alternative. Like radio's terrible. And it was nice to just have something different to listen to.
Yeah, you're right about
And-
that.
yeah,
Even though it's crazy.
Yeah. Even though it was crazy, and the thing about Art Bell, the difference to me, like between Art Bell and George Norrie, was that Art Bell genuinely had an interest in it, and George Norrie came across as just somebody who kept tried to keep the conversation going. He didn't actually care.
It was a job. You mean.
Yeah. Art Bell seemed like he had a general.
He created it.
Yeah,
So what's his name? Norrie.
George Norrie, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if he still does it.
So he was,
I
just,
think
he was
so.
just doing it for the money.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. That was my
all-
impression of him. Art Bell was always like, he was genuinely interested in what was going on, and talking about it. But
What's
even that one guy, Infowars. What's his name? What's his
Oh,
name?
Alex
yeah.
Jones.
So Alex
Here we
Jones
go.
used to be on Art Bell.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
But he used to be more credible,
Yes, he was. He was,
and now he's just a fucking joke.
He was more. He wasn't as extreme and crazy as he.
Not as
He
extreme.
progressed in a horrible.
we still
Well, he
work for
followed
the
the
same
money.
group.
He followed the money.
Yeah.
I think.
Here's
So-
here's an interesting point. Do you want to go ahead first?
No, go ahead.
Oh, an interesting point that I've noticed is like right wing radio. I once delivered a pizza to the place on 14th Street there. It's like Monopoly. There's like 6 radio stations, a few TV stations, and it's all one group. And I walk in, and it was right after Rush Limbaugh got cancer, and I'm looking at the TV, and I'm thinking to myself, I better not insult the military-industrial complex or something. I don't know what it was I was thinking, but anyway, on the screen it said, "Let's pray for Rush Limbaugh" or something. It was funny, but the point
is
I
funny.
want to get to is that
Fuck Rush
why is
Limbaugh.
it that 1320 radio, it's either mindless sports, mindless Art Bell, or mindless politics, or mindless religion on Sunday mornings? It's one of those mindless things.
Yeah.
It speaks to a lot of people around here. There's a lot of people that tune into that. But,
Yeah.
But it's always consistent. All those things. There's never a.
well, I think it's tradition. It's sold as tradition.
I don't think it's tradition as much as effective political control, so that people don't organize to increase the commons, to increase public spending on public
Is
goods.
there a liberal equivalent to like Rush Limbaugh?
NPR, yeah. Well, the equivalent.
But
It's a
so
loaded
to speak to
word
equivalent,
there,
then you're saying
I'm asking-
left.
Yeah.
That's absurdly left.
Democracy
Because
now.
he's right, absurdly right.
Yeah, and
Oh,
also
absurdly. No, there is no absurdly left.
There's
is what
no
I'm
absurdly
saying.
left. Is there no absurdly left?
No.
I don't know about
I would
that.
say there is probably.
Um,
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what it is, but
No.
I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure it exists somewhat.
I love AOC.
She's her talk is good. I understand why people don't like her.
is there liberal propaganda?
No.
I think I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
That's a good question.
I think
excellent question.
I think propaganda is
Because-
propaganda, and it
What?
serves somebody's purpose.
Yeah.
Because after I said no, I have to see what is the difference, and that's what I really would like to ask
Yeah.
myself.
It's just
Why?
Vote for me. I'm going to get you free. I'm going to get you free services
It's
and
just
free
No.
education.
Two different camps.
That's not the same thing. They're not saying free. They're saying if we
It
spend
doesn't
it
matter.
here,
I'm talking
it will be more
propaganda. I can say
productive in
whatever
the
I
long
want.
run for everyone. Pardon?
But I'm talking propaganda. I can say whatever I want, and like if I'm gonna go, hey, I believe the government should provide these things for you. Well, I don't have to believe that personally. I'm just telling you that. And to meet the end, my own ends and my own means. I mean, as far as absurdly left, like, okay, so what does that mean? The person that's preaching that, do they actually believe what they're saying? Are you saying, is that what you mean by absurdly left, or are they?
Well,
or
does
is it,
Rush Limbaugh believe what he's saying?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. That's a good question.
Does he believe?
He made a lot of money talking the way he did. Did it mean he believed
Yeah,
what he said?
He
or did
believes
just
that the
he-
right wing that America should go right wing. Yes, he does believe that because that's where his money's at. You know, he was
So
barred
then is
from
he
buying the
genuinely-
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so
'cause
does he
was too
genuinely
racist.
believe in the right wing?
Pardon?
Does he genuinely believe in the right?
He
Conservative
believes
views?
that
Or
the
does
rich
he only
should
believe
get
it 'cause it-
wealthier.
Yeah. Okay.
And they try to convince more people to believe that the wealthy should get wealthier.